Hi Cancer, welcome to your 2020 Taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you are a subscriber of mine, if you are a new subscriber, if you are recent, if you have been with me all of 2019, and all of those of you hardcore ride or dies that have been with me from before that, I just want to say a heartfelt thank you to all of you for all of your support, because it really does mean a lot to me that you've allowed me to be a part of your journey. So my lunar brothers and sisters, welcome to your 2020 reading. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, if you would like to book a personal past life regression session or a personal future life progression session, you can do so on the website address below. With that said, as always, I would like to bless all of my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you, or shall I say us, on our paths to our highest vibrational good. So let's have a look, see what 2020 has in store for us Cancerians, or sun, moon or rising. First card out that's jumped out is the Justice card, right? So this is it. This is the year, right? The beauty of the first card out is it always sets the tone. It sets the tone for the year that you're going to have. Yes, it's for the first month, but it kind of has that permeating energy. And the Justice card represents the sign of Libra. This is all about, there's two things that will be really evident to you this year. One, the choices, right? This is about you making decisions, and it's always decisions that are based on what it is that you want to do, where it is that you want to go. Straight out of the gate here in January 2020, you are tapping into this energy of choosing for yourself where it is that you want to go, what it is that you want to create, what it is that feels important to you. The other thing with the Justice card, because I said two things, right? So one, it's going to be about your decisions and your choices, and two, it's going to be about bringing more harmony and balance to your life, right? So anyone or anything that kind of upsets that this year, you're going to be saying to yourself, that doesn't work for me, no thank you. All right, beautiful. So here in January, with the Justice card as the first card out, you could find that you are probably looking at a contract of some sort, that you are looking at signing on the dotted line for something. It looks like in January, straight out the gate. For some of you, this could be of a legal nature. For some of you, it could be about a paperwork. It could be about a letter or a correspondence of some sort that you've been waiting for. January looks like you're starting the year strong, especially when it comes to paperwork, admin, all of that sort of stuff. And it comes with the Lovers card, right? Interesting. So you've got Libra and Gemini here, right? Because the Lovers card represents Gemini, but it also represents choice, right? So you've got, and it's interesting to talk about the slight differences between the two. Justice is where you specifically go down one certain path, right? Whereas the Lovers is about the process of making the decision of which one to have, dealing with the facts. There's a lot of paperwork, a lot of facts going around here in January for you. In some way, shape or form, this could be, for some of you, this is about visas. For some of you, this may be about a diagnosis for an illness for somebody that you love and care about. For some of you, I know, I won't go into any details, but I know some people, good friends of mine, people that I love dearly, are waiting for diagnoses about their children. It could be stuff like that. For others of you, this is about signing a contract. It's about you looking at what you're going to do next. This could be about buying a home. For a lot of you, it's going to have a legal slant to it. So this could be about, finally getting that information that you needed to move down a specific path. All right. So let's have a look at February. What is going on for your February 2020? You've got the Hanged Man, right? So this is the process of you taking your time with something. February sees you taking a step back. Now, interestingly enough, January could see you making the decision. It could also see you signing the paperwork. It could also see you being presented with that paperwork, right? Which means that in February, because you've got the Hanged Man. It's a very spiritual card, but it's also a card of stasis and a card of reassessment and reevaluation. It could be now that you've chosen a specific path, you get to reevaluate or assess where it is that you're at, how it is it that you proceed now. The other thing with the Hanged Man card as well, because it represents Neptune, has a very Neptune/Piscean energy about it. And this usually, for me, it usually talks about things that are spiritual in nature, things that, it's almost like when the universe says to you, put the brakes on, take a moment, right? This and the Four of Swords are probably the biggest messages from the tarot that say to you, hold up, you don't have all of the facts yet, right? And it's interesting, so whatever you're being presented with in January, there may be more to come. You may have more to come from this, all right? So let's give it some context with the direction card. So you've got the Emperor, right? So for a select few of you, this is about, again, because your Emperor represents the bigger institutions. It can be things like schools, universities, it can be hospitals, anything of that nature. And the fact that it falls here with the Hanged Man can be about healing. It can be about any of those things. So for some of you, you may be spending time in a hospital, not necessarily for yourself. It may be for a loved one, for a family member. It does look like, though, because the Emperor can also be the law, the authority, right? So it looks like you've got this kind of tandem energy here. If you are receiving legal advice in January and February, my advice is don't make any concrete moves in January or February. It's not the time. Just make sure that you've got all of the facts. Make sure that you listen to whoever your legal/medical professional is. It looks like the kind of first 2 months of the year have that slant to it. And for a very, very select few of you, this could be either where you gain knowledge through dreams. What do I mean by that? You could have prophetic dreams, a family member that's passed. Energy shift. A family member that's passed could come to you in a dream, could speak to you in that way and give you information about something, and you could be like, whoa, okay, wow, where has that come from? For others of you, this could be you going to see somebody of that nature, and maybe a psychic or a medium. The fact that it comes through the guise of the Emperor, this person is likely to be more male than female, or a very masculine woman. Very, very interesting indeed. But yeah, on a practical level, it does look like you're spending some time either, I would say it's either going to be a hospital or something to do with the law. It looks like you're, it doesn't have to be anything bad. Sometimes it could just be you going to get legal advice or medical advice, or like I said, it looks like for a lot of you, you're waiting for a diagnosis of some sort though. And like I said, that doesn't necessarily have to be for yourself. It could be for somebody that you love. March, the sun starts to shine finally, right? You've got the Sun card, beautiful. This is about blessings, it's about abundance, it's also about joy, and it's about good news. The Sun card, whenever you see it, it adds and lends its strength and power to every card that it touches. And even with the Mercury retrograde that's going to take place in March, the Sun card basically says that March will be a lighter and brighter year for you, month for you, and it will also see a satisfactory conclusion to whatever is happening here in January and February. All right, so let's give it some context. And this relates to whatever legal matters or documents or paperwork you are working on or dealing with, wrapping up, signing up, all of that sort of stuff. The Sun card gives you a blessing there. Interestingly enough, the Queen of Swords represents the sign of Libra, and it also represents what you have to fight for, what you have to go to war for. And interestingly enough, with these cards, it really does suggest that whatever you're dealing with in January and February, for a select few of you, very select few of you, it may even be something like a custody battle. March basically says that you win, that you come out on top. which is beautiful, right? It suggests March is a good month for you because it sees you finally being able to look at something and say, you know what, that's done. We can draw a line under it. So it's kind of like you get all of the heavy stuff out of the way at the beginning of the year, right? Throughout this, though, these are all very decisive cards. They're very sort of exacting, and you know, I talked about that at the beginning. Your April, you have the High Priestess. This is your card as a Cancerian, right? The High Priestess is the ultimate card for Cancer. Yes, she represents the moon. Yes, she represents water, but she's also a very Cancerian influenced energy. This is where hidden things come to light. It's where new knowledge, new information comes to you. It's where secrets are revealed. Whenever you see the High Priestess, something that you didn't know, something that you maybe weren't privy to at the time, always comes to light. I love this card because it represents your own intuition, it represents psychic power, it represents the otherworldly forces working in your favor, and usually that's how I believe it happens. I kind of feel like the High Priestess says, right, I'm going to lift my veil now because this thing has been hidden for too long, and now it's time for it to see the light of day again. All right, so let's give it some context, yeah, and let's see what it might relate to. That feels good. I don't know why. It relates to the Empress, right? So April looks like a good money month for you. April looks like a really good money month for you. You might see that you are entitled to money that you didn't expect to be able to have. You could really, this is really nice because the decision, the Empress is about fertility. She is about all things that are fruitful. She's the fertile ground that we sow our seeds in. And the fact that this is coming through the High Priestess, this is about something that you didn't realize was yours, something that you didn't realize you were entitled to, something that you may not have had an understanding or an inkling about, which is really, really interesting. You know, it looks like it could be as well, maybe even some sort of money that you didn't expect to come to you. It could be, you know, a secret windfall of some sort as well. Really, really interesting. For a select few of you, this could be a very fertile month, right? So the High Priestess is, she's the lady before, right? And then the Empress is the lady after. She's effectively pregnant, fecund, right? So I will say this to you: if that's not what you want, if you already have kids and you don't want any more, April is a very fertile time for you. Please, please, please be aware of it. All right, because that could definitely be a thing. May. You get the Emperor card, right? So interesting, because you've had the Emperor card pop up for you twice now, which does suggest, now here in May, the Emperor card is basically saying to you, right, what is it now that you are willing to commit to? What is it now that you are willing to put your blood, sweat and tears into? You've had all of this to deal with. You've had a satisfactory conclusion. You now get blessed with some sort of abundance or some sort of finance, maybe even some sort of big opportunity. So then May comes along and the Emperor's there and saying, right, okay, what is it that you choose to commit to now? What is it that you are choosing to put your energy into? And more importantly, where is it that you are taking ownership and responsibility in your life, right? Those are the marks of a true leader, so to speak. Let's have a look. Ooh, okay. And you get the Five of Wands over that. So it looks like May could bring you some sort of job opportunity. It could be some opportunity to study. For some of you, this could be something that you've wanted to do for a while. The Five of Wands does say that there will be competition, right? So whatever it is that you want to do, there is challenges to it. But it does suggest that you come out on top because your destiny card is the Emperor. So this sees you wanting to commit to something, but the Five of Wands is saying, yeah, but it's going to be a challenge. There are going to be things that come up. There's going to be hurdles. There's going to be obstacles that you need to overcome. There are going to be things that you need to, there's going to be challenges that will need to be met. But because you've got the Emperor card there, it says you come out on top. You have the energy that you need. Now, for others of you, if you work for a company, if you have a boss, May could be a time where you and your boss are competing with each other. It could be a time where you are having you know, a bit of a tense time. It could be where, you know, maybe things are getting on top, maybe you're having clashes of opinion, maybe there's like a for those of you, you know, there could be like a little bit of one-upmanship going on. It's like, you know, maybe your boss is trying to flex his superior muscles, or whatever, you know, not superior muscles, what do I want to say, like, you know, when somebody wants to wield their power and it's like, well, I can show that I'm in charge. There might be some of that going on, so keep an eye out in May. As if your boss is acting like a bit of a jerk or a bit of a moron, find ways to diffuse that through not necessarily open confrontation. I'll give you a perfect example. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. It's one of my favourite films to stick on in the background. If you haven't seen The Devil Wears Prada, watch it. There's some really great little life gems in there. I know you wouldn't expect to find that, you know, in a film like that, but there are. There's a moment where she's basically, where the lead character is set an impossible task, like basically impossible task, and she comes through, and in the end, the boss is like, you know what, I can't even really say anything because I've just set you an impossible task and you've thrown it back in my face having completed it. If you find you're having a problem or a trouble or an issue with a boss in May, let your work speak for you. Don't get into it. Don't do any of the, you know, all of the, don't do any of that stuff. Don't get annoyed. Don't get angry. Just do your job so well that there's nothing for somebody to even nitpick over or on. All right, so let's have a look at June. This is it, first half of the year done. In June, you get the World card, the universe, right? And this is good, right? This, you know, that was probably the best the best information that I could give you, because here in June you graduate. Here in June you step up. Maybe for a select few of you, this is you going on to a different job and saying, you know what, yeah, I feel like it's time. I actually feel like it's time for me to do something different or to go somewhere different, especially when it comes to work. Ooh, excuse me, energy shift. Now, the other thing is as well, it won't be that you'll feel like you're being forced out or anything like that. The feeling that I get from it is it's more a case of you saying, you know what, I'm glad I had those challenges, because now I understand that I'm not going to get any more from the place that I'm at. It's time for me to move on. Or for a select few of you, it could be that in response to the challenges and the impossible tasks that are set, you do so well that somebody else notices and you end up elevating a level anyway. All right. It can be a real higher trajectory here, but you've got to be prepared and willing to put the work in, and you've got to be prepared and able to do the thing that's not expected. You know, everybody can get into it and cause arguments, and, you know, no, that's not fair. You know, you're just being mean, or you're just being the boss. Da, da, da. But it takes somebody of guts, caliber and brains, quite frankly, to outsmart somebody in that way and just say, you know what, that's fine, I'm just going to do so well that you've got nothing to pick up on. Then you got the Seven of Pentacles. So for a lot of you, there is a job change coming here in June. For a lot of you, there is you stepping into a different position. For some of you, it could be the same position, just with more responsibility. For some of you, you are demonstrating that you are in it for the long haul and that you have the ability to do so. Now, on other levels, the World card is about mastery. It's about where you come up trumps. It's about where you have completed. It's about where you've earned your stripes. Okay, and it always sees you reaching the next level. The fact that it comes with the Seven of Pentacles, this is a good month for you to invest. The Seven of Pentacles is about putting time into something. For some of you, this could be about going back to school. For some of you, this could be about grades. For some of you, it could be the culmination of things that you've been working on or studying. But here in June, especially with that Seven of Pentacles on top of the World card, this is a good month for you to invest. Now, I'm not a financial professional. I'm not a legal professional. I can't give you that kind of advice. But with this energy, this is a good time for you to find a worthy investment to put your money or your capital in. Obviously, do your research. Don't bet that. I mean, Cancerians would never bet the house, darling. That's not, Cancerians rule the home, so they're definitely not. We're all about security, so definitely wouldn't bet the house. But you kind of get my drift. Just obviously be sensible about it. But this is a really good energy for you to invest under, because whatever you put in now will give out, but it won't give out immediately. It will be in time. Remember, the world card is Saturn. 7 of Pentacles is what you put in for the long term, for the long haul, before you see anything back. July, you have the Devil card, right? So July, it's interesting. I think the Devil card has come up in July like 2 or 3 times for this year, which is interesting. It makes me wonder what's happening in July. Really, really interesting. So the Devil card in July is going to be highlighting to you what it is that you're holding on to too tightly, what it is that you now need to release. Cancerians have, with a crab. I mean, I'm only a moon sign Cancer, but I understand we have a tendency to cling to something. This month of July, you could really have that highlighted to you. What is it that you're holding on to, and how destructive is that? I mean, to the point where, if sometimes the crab will snap an arm off and say, right, okay, you know what, I'll snap the bloody arm off, I'll cling so hard, I'll snap the arm off, but at least I get to survive, right? But if you could, let's say, and I'm not saying change your nature, but if you could evolve past that experience and say, right, you know what, I'm just going to let it go, it will be such a higher path for you. You got the 2 of Swords, right? So your gut feeling in July, your gut feeling, your intuition, and Cancer, and I've always said that, lots of people say like, oh, so Pisces is the most psychic sign. I don't think so. I think it's Cancer, but whatever, maybe that's just my bias coming through. But yeah, your intuition, your gut instinct, all of your feelings will be screaming at you in July. Let this go. There's something that is really going to require, and it will take a lot out of you to let it go. It will be something that you really feel like, but you're going to have to do it. And my advice to you is do so. If you let this thing go, you will, it's kind of, not saying that it will kill you, but that whole ethos of run away, live to fight another day. It feels for me like there's something in July, you'll know that this thing, this person, this experience, whatever it is something that needs to be let go of. And the alternative is that you cling and you end up snapping one of your little crabby arms off. All right, so it's really important. You will know, right? The 2 of Swords basically says that you will know, because your intuition and your feelings will tell you there's something in your life that needs to be let go of, that needs to be removed. The Devil card is basically going to highlight to you what it is that you're clinging to. It's almost like it's almost like an addiction. It's like something that I refuse to let go of. If you refuse to let go, you will suffer the consequences for it, especially, and I say this from personal experience, when your intuition, your abilities, your dreams, whatever, your gut instinct tell you something or someone is no good, trust it. It will never ever lie to you, right? Just trust it. So July is a month for you to, it will be, you will probably wrestle with yourself. You will have that moment where you're like, oh, but I want it to stay this way, but everything inside you is screaming, saying, get out, leave, go. This is, let it go now. August, you have the Chariot card, right? So, and as well for end of June, July, for those of you that are celebrating at this time, happy birthday to you. A word about your solar return. You are to fill your day of birth, your solar return, with an hour of fill your day, the day of your solar return, fill it with everything that you want your whole year to have in it. So if you want music, listen to music. If you want laughter, friends, sex, sensuality, more money, find ways to incorporate, little bits of all of that stuff in the day. And that way it kind of sets the tone for the year that you'll have. So in August, you've got the Chariot card. This is about victory and success, and it kind of suggests to me that whatever it is that comes up for release in July, you do so. It's almost like you conquer that aspect of yourself and you say, you know what, yeah, it might have killed you to do it. It might have felt really painful to let something or someone or, somewhere go, but it was the best thing for you to do. And the fact that you've got the Chariot card in August means that you made the right decision. All right. The other thing is as well, it sees you winning or succeeding in some way, shape or form. So for those of you that are watching this and are in some kind of studies, August is going to be great. When you hear, when you get your letter, you will have really good news about your exams and whatnot, because I think August is around exam results time. Then you've got the Knight of Wands on top of the Chariot. So August is a big travel month for you. Big travel month for you. What I like about this as well is it really does suggest that you're going somewhere very hot. I would call it at saying this is probably somewhere that has a desert, because it's the and also that card represents Cancerian energy. So you're looking at places like Morocco, possibly Egypt. I mean, I don't know how viable that one's going to be. Definitely not for me. But yeah, places that are hot, sandy climates, there's lots of that. The other thing is as well, this is about you getting really gung-ho about your physical self, about your physical health. New diet, new regime, new health regime. You could really be going for it hammer and tongs here in August. The only thing that I'll say to you about that is, with the Chariot and the Knight of Wands, that's a lot of energy, which is brilliant because it gives you that initial push that you need. And it's always like the first 3 weeks of any new diet or exercise regime, you're like, oh my gosh, you've got the energy that you need here for it. Just try to temper it. Don't push too hard, too fast. All right, so September. You got the Fool card, new things, new places, new beginnings. For some of you, you could have met somebody on your holiday. Certainly for those of you that are single anyway. The September looks absolutely lovely because it brings you all of the pure potential of the Fool, right? But let's see what else it will bring. All right, I was going to say, let's see what else it will bring you, because the Direction card, the second card out, gives context. But you've got the Fool card twice. You've got the Fool on top of the Fool, which is, one, it's really powerful. It does suggest that September will bring you an event or a person that completely changes your life. And usually the Fool card brings something new. Sometimes it can be a conversation that you have with a random stranger. Sometimes it can be something surprising that somebody says, something that you learn. Very often it's a small thing that has like a big impact. You've got the Fool twice here in September, which means that this is just going to be a big impact. Something happens in September that completely changes your life path, that completely changes your life course. For some of you, this could be about another child. The Fool card, is pure potential. The Fool and being 0 actually represents the womb. So again, high fertility. April and September are very, very fertile months. Just be very, very cautious if that's not the experience that you want. All right, but yeah, I mean, and that's the thing with the Fool card. It's like Uranus, as is the Tower. You can't really predict it. You can kind of give hints and glimpses, but it's it's quite an elusive energy. So we'll just have to see. I look forward to the comments on that one. October, you have the Strength card. Beautiful. So, lots and lots of physical energy, vitality here. Physical vitality months are August and October. You've got lots of energy there, which I absolutely love. October does look like a month where you're really starting to ask yourself again, the decisions are mine. It's almost like you're reasserting, it's almost like you're reasserting your authority in your life. You're reasserting your decisions, and more importantly, reaffirming your boundaries, right? And getting into your heart of hearts, what it is that you want, where it is that you want to go, how it is that you want things to shape up. let's give it some context. And this is about the Page of Swords. So for a select few of you, this will be about you. Yeah, for a select few of you, this will be about maybe looking for another job again. It looks like work's going to be quite changeable for you in the year of 2020. So that's something that you might want to keep an eye out on. For a select few of you, this is about your relationships and your bonds with your children. Sometimes if you've got kids, especially those that are becoming young adults, this could be a really trying time for you. It could be a really challenging month. October could be really challenging because there's a part of you that's like, yeah, it's wonderful to see you grow, but at the same time, I am still your parent. I am still the person that needs to get you to where you to some sort of semblance of a functioning human being by the time you get out into the world. You could be having clashes with your children, for those of you that have them. If you don't have children, this could literally just be maybe a friend is complaining to you about their children. For others of you, it could be that you're having you feel like your workspace is has that sort of childish, like all the office politics and that. I couldn't stand any of that. That's why I fucking left. It's like a load of bollocks. Anyway, I digress. November, you have the Empress, right? Beautiful energy, because again, it's that fertile, fecund energy. Beautiful, right? The thing about the Empress as well is it brings you blessings, it brings you abundance, and it also brings you ease. Right, really, I mean, I love this for you because it just brings you an easier time of it. And then you've got the Ten of Wands. Something about your home and environment is changing in November. It could be, for some of you, like I said, there could be a really surprise move that comes in for you. But November will bring you a month where something around your home gets a lot easier. I don't know what that means to you, because the Ten of Wands is about movement. It's also about letting something go, and it's about being unburdened. November is just a really easy, very smooth month for you. You could be feeling a lot freer in November than you have for throughout the year, which is really, really nice. I mean, really, really nice. Could be as well, for some of you, you could be doing something with the home. For others of you, you could maybe building a conservatory. For some of you, this could be the house that you'll move into. You find out that it's been underpinned, something of that nature. There's definitely something happening around the environment of your home, but there's also just a feeling of ease that you have. And then finally, December, you finish on a high. You got the Wheel of Fortune. Beautiful. Blessings, synchronicity, good luck, positivity, feeling really good at the end of the year. Let's see what this might relate to. The King of Wands, right? So very likely a Sagittarian male will feature for you in December in some way, shape or form. Also, it looks like in some way, because the eclipses are bouncing around between your sign and Capricorn throughout this year, and there's going to be 6 of them, right? Which means you yourself, something about you is changing. Something about the way that you're viewed in the world is changing. Something about the way that people receive and connect to you is changing. December, in some way, shape or form, you could find yourself in the limelight. You could find yourself being thrust into the limelight. Why do I say that? Because the King of Wands always wants to be seen to do what he's doing, right? He always wants to be noted and acknowledged. Now, for a lot of you, for those of you that are single, for those single female Cancers, a fire sign male could feature very heavily for you. Why do I say that? You've got the Emperor, you've got the Emperor, and you've got the King of Wands. For those of you that are, for the male Cancerians that are watching this, it could be that you get with somebody this year and you end up having a baby with them really quickly. There's a lot of fertile energy here, so just be cautious of that if it's not the experience that you want. And then finally, let's have a look at what your key for the year is. What is your key to the year? And you, my dear Cancerians, get the Hanged Man. take your time with it all, right? There's no need to rush. There's no need for you to be in a hurry. There's no need for you to make haste. The other thing is as well with the Hanged Man, let the universe bring you what you need and let it put you where you're supposed to be. This feels like it ties into that message about clinging, right? You'll know what not to cling to this year because you'll feel it pulling away from you, and your first reaction as a Cancerian will be to cling to it or to hold on to it. At that point where you feel yourself doing that, that's the moment where you have to say, right, okay, this is what I'm supposed to let go of. It could be a place, it could be a person, it could be a thing, you know, but this is your message for the year. This is your key to the year. I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic year. Check it at the beginning, check it at the end. Some people check it every month. Some people check it every 3 months. Some people every 4 months. It's completely up to you. Please don't forget to comment and let me know how it shapes up, whether it resonates, whether it doesn't. I wish you all the best for 2020. Take care, and I'll see you soon.